Good evening and welcome to Metro Focus. I'm Rafael P. Roman. New York City's embattled housing agency NYCHA has faced a growing list of scandals over the past year, including lying to the federal government about lead paint inspections, dangerous levels of untreated mold in many NYCHA apartments, and damaged boilers that left thousands without heat during record-breaking winter temperatures. Now the authority is embroiled in a new scandal, revelations of staff sex parties on NYCHA premises. The focus is on the Throgs Neck housing complex in the Bronx, where 2 employees were suspended and the rest of the 40-person staff were reassigned after residents complained that a number of those workers had been drinking and having sex on the job. According to the president of the development's Residents Association, male and female managers engaged in erotic activities with subordinates both inside and outside the 29 buildings that house more than 2,500 New Yorkers. The Daily News broke this story, and Greg Smith, one of the investigative reporters behind the exclusive, joins us now. Greg, welcome to the program.
Happy to be here.
So, Greg, first of all, how did you dig up this disturbing story?
Well, I've been covering the Housing Authority for about 7 years now. It seems like forever.
Oh, my.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. So people call me up a lot and tell me about things that are happening in the development. That's important because the Housing Authority itself has a serious case of lack of transparency. So I got a phone call last Friday from somebody, and they basically said, you want to check out what's going on up in Throgs Neck. They just walked in, the management just walked into the office and had everybody reassigned. They had to turn in their keys and leave the property. Now I called up NYCHA, and I said, what's going on here? Why are you doing this? They wouldn't answer me. So I wrote a story that went into the paper on Monday that said that this had happened, and of course I got another phone call. And this phone call was far more interesting, and it was essentially describing for me the reason behind this mass reassignment. And the reason was because NYCHA had been told that there were these sex parties going on within the groundskeeper's shop on the grounds of Throgs Neck, which is a huge development and serves thousands of tenants. And so the first question I had was, if this is happening, well, what is NYCHA doing about this, and when did NYCHA first learn about this?
What are the answers to those questions?
Well, that's an interesting answer, even more interesting than sex parties on overtime, in which, by the way,
hey, they were
that
getting,
was the other aspect
overtime.
Of this,
oh
is that allegedly, while they were having these parties, which also involved a lot of liquor, again, on NYCHA property, but also on the clock.
Wow.
So they were putting in for overtime. They would use some other excuse that they were dealing with a sewer break or something to get the overtime while they were actually having these parties.
But NYCHA found out about it when, did you say?
Well, no, this is what's more disturbing. NYCHA has known about this since May.
Wow.
And they, as far as I know, they say they were investigating this. They were looking into what happened up there, but they didn't do anything about it until
It sounds
last
like it was
Friday.
your report that got them to do something.
I don't know. I can never tell with these things, but often they'll suddenly do something. If I make a phone call...
They haven't done anything from May to August. You do the report, and then these people get reassigned.
It's purely coincidental. So I confronted them, and I said, well, what have you been doing for the last few months here when you were told about this? Well, amongst other things, apparently, they also had a conversation with the City Department of Investigation. For whatever reason, I still don't know why, DOI did not do anything. They basically said, you deal with this. Now, that's unusual because DOI is supposed to, this is, to me, this is a classical DOI case, right? You have sex parties on the clock. I mean, can you beat that? I mean, how many times have you heard of that happening in the city of New York? Yeah. So DOI dropped the ball on this thing. And so I then started to ask questions about, well, what exactly did DOI know? What did NYCHA know all of these months when they have been really, as far as I can tell, doing nothing? Nobody was reassigned until Friday. And the answer to that question was they had 2 reports. Before people were calling me, they were calling NYCHA. Yeah. And they were telling them all about this. And by the way, we're talking about the names of specific people, right, the times when this was happening, where it was happening, and the fact that they were putting in for overtime.
You know, for sake of time, let me just ask you this. Do you know if they told, I mean, given the problems in NYCHA, did they tell the mayor or the mayor's office or the mayor himself? Did they tell the city council member who represents?
I have no reason to, I don't know the answer to that question. I do know that you have pointed out something that's really true. The Housing Authority, for some time now, for probably the last 7 months, 8 months, has suddenly become front and center, partly because of the federal intervention. But
Right. There's a deal now. There's a federal monitor that's going to be overlooking the.
That's correct. So in other words, it's a hot topic.
Yeah.
And
you think they'd be looking out for
they should be aggressively going after things like that. And as far as I can tell, they were not.
So let me ask you. So they reassigned 40, the whole staff. 2 of them now have been suspended. One a supervisor, one not a supervisor.
That's correct.
They've been suspended, not fired. Nobody's been fired.
Yeah, there's a due process aspect to this, which I understand. And basically, they have been suspended for 30 days pending the investigation. And during that time, they will go into this whole due process where they are able to contest whatever the allegations are, but nobody's been fired. Nobody has been demoted. And right now, today, DOI changed its position and said, well, maybe we really need to look at this.
But you know, the real troubling thing from your pieces is that these people, even the supervisors have been reported to have intimidated the people working for them to participate in these sex orgies.
That's
These
correct.
supervisors weren't fired, but they actually were put somewhere else with new underlings.
That's correct.
I mean, we've seen this picture before in a different context.
Sure.
Is there the possibility that some of these other subordinates in other complexes are going to be put at risk with these subordinates?
Well, what seems to be happening right now is one of the supervisors that was participating in this and allegedly retaliating against people if they didn't participate or if they complained about anything, that woman has been suspended. So she was put into a different development for 1 day.
By the way,
and
is
then
she
they
the daughter
suspended
of
her.
a big NYCHA honcho?
That's another aspect of this. She is the daughter of a very top-level NYCHA manager who has also been the subject of investigation.
There's no end to NYCHA problems. This is just one of many that we've seen over the years.
Yes.
All right. Well, Greg, we'll be following your stories, and we'll bring you back to see how this proceeds.
Thank you
so
very much. You bet.